a pilgrim must undergo ritual purification, and this includes donning a special garment.
First of all, when you go there, the men and the women have to dress in white and very simply. The men wear 2 pieces of cloth, take all of their jewelry, anything else off, and so do the women. So one is reduced, in a sense, to a kind of purity and equality before God, like in the Day of Judgment. Whether you're a king or you're a beggar, when you make the pilgrimage, there's no distinction, absolutely no distinction, you cannot tell. And in fact, the white cloth that is worn is usually sewn together, used as a shroud when one dies.
Just to give you one vignette I saw in front of me when I was making the circumambulation of the Kaaba, which you do counterclockwise, which implies and establishes that time and space are of no consequence, because you're going counterclockwise. You're indicating that time is only created. It's not real. And I saw 2 old men, they must have been about 90 years old each, walking really, really slowly, holding hands, and it looked like they must have been friends forever. And they were doing their circles, you know, and oblivious to the rest of the world. You know, it probably took them about 8 hours to do the same thing that I did in about, 2.5 hours. And it was beautiful. It's like time had stopped for them. They were taking their time, doing their walk. And the only thing that mattered to them was that they were doing something religious, fulfilling that before they died, and they were together.
This happens in one of the lunar months of the 12-month lunar calendar of Islam, which is called the month of pilgrimage, and there's very elaborate rituals connected with it. Certain movements and sacrifice, which represents the sacrifice of an animal. Food is given to the poor. It symbolizes, in fact, the sacrifice of our own passionate soul before God.
Muslims everywhere make a sacrifice at this time, called the Festival of Sacrifice, and it is among the most significant of the several religious celebrations that punctuate the Islamic year. The climactic event is to stand in the presence of God on the plain of Arafat, the place where the Prophet preached his farewell sermon. After completing the rituals in Makkah, most pilgrims crown their journey to Arabia with a visit to the tomb of the beloved Prophet in Medina. The pilgrimage overall is much more than an act of individual piety.
In the older days, it would bring people from all over the world together in one place. And today that number has increased to 1,200,000 the last time the Hajj was held. And so you have people all the way from Toledo, Ohio, to Timbuktu in Mali, to Aceh in Indonesia, to all the way from blondes to dark-skinned people, to Malay-looking people, to Chinese people, to Caucasian, from all over the world. People come, and it's really a unique institution. To see it is a remarkable experience.
Between the 8th and the 12th centuries CE, a tendency towards mysticism appeared among the Muslims. From modest beginnings, this mystical movement rapidly grew to the religious horizon. Mystics in every religious tradition say that they are concerned with something ineffable that cannot be properly conveyed in words. Such a feeling can only be experienced. Islamic mysticism usually is called Sufism.
To worship God as if you are seeing Him. If you are not seeing Him, He is seeing you. So that is where it comes Sufism, and in Arabic we say tasawwuf, means the purity of the heart. And tasawwuf in Arabic means very crystal, like water, very transparent.
There are many mystical elements in the Islamic tradition that have contributed to the rise of Sufism. Some are found in the life of the Prophet himself. Muhammad cultivated the habits of fasting, meditation, and prayer in his night vigils, and he lived a life of strict discipline. The Quran is also rich in elements that invite a mystical interpretation, even upon first reading. One verse emphasizes the pervasive divine presence, a basic tenet of mysticism.
Remember God always.
Sufi mystical orders have a form of worship peculiarly their own, called fikr, which means to remember or to mention. In this ceremony, Sufis repeat the divine name or some other pious formula. The pace of the recitation often accelerates. Methods of breath control are used, just as in other religions. Many Sufi orders move rhythmically, in time with the chant. One order, the famous Whirling Dervishes of Turkey, uses a dignified, stylized dance, accompanied by music. The Sufi fikr is thus a means of achieving ecstasy. Its purpose is to lift the worshipper out of himself, so that he may be lost in the contemplation of God. Many mystics, ironically, have endeavored to describe the mystical quest and the mysterious way to union with God. Over the centuries, an enormous literature of Sufi writing has been devoted to explaining the mystical path.
You will find a lot of Sufi poetry and Sufi books that express how to purify yourself in your prayers, in your daily prayers, in your fasting. You can fast, but still you can cheat. You can pray, but still you can deceive. You can do anything, but still you might lie. But when you reach a state of purity and you know that God is looking at you, that is what I said, state of excellence, perfection, the last stage, then you cannot cheat. You have to know that God is looking at you. How I am going to pray and entering in the divine presence and I am cheating and lying? So that's where Sufism comes, and it is rooted in most of the narration of the Prophet and in the Holy Quran.
Distinctive Sufi brotherhoods emerged during the 12th century. Sufis could be found among all levels of society, including the governing class, the religious elites, and the common people. Each of many hundreds of brotherhoods bears the name of a great Sufi figure. Biographies of the saints are replete with stories showing their dominance over the forces of nature and their penetration into the hidden truths of things. The power associated with a saint does not cease with his death. The Muslim custom is to build elaborate and beautifully decorated tombs for great saints. The faithful then come in droves on pilgrimages to these tombs. Like a living organism, Islam continues to evolve and develop as each generation of Muslims reappropriates the heritage for itself. Even in recent centuries, new sects or offshoots have continued to appear.